Hello everyone. How's everybody doing today? Didn't open up with a song today. I just want to go ahead and just start kind of the stream. This is I'm gonna be reading the Bible today. I'm gonna be reading through some Genesis. I don't know how far I'm gonna get. I'm using the NASB 1995. Yeah, I should have asked y'all, how are y'all doing today? I hope y'all doing well. Also hope my mic doesn't peak too bad. Actually, you know what? There's a bit of a compression issue because I have my reconnecting. There we go. Sorry, I had to reconnect there. Sorry about that. Do have a little. There we go. Let's. Is my mic that bad? My mic bad? Hello. Give me a second. I'm still testing. Ooh, my mic does sound a little choppy, doesn't it? Maybe there's something. What's happening there? Give me a second. Can't tell. Let me see. So I'm listening to it on the stream as well. Hello, 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 hello. Do I need to get a new mic? Is it just the stream being weird? Let me see here. Go. My mic been bad? It has been. I'm about to get a new mic. Prefer not to have to do that. Set like a specific. Works good at times, but sometimes it doesn't. It's weird. It's like one side of it doesn't work really well. Let me see. Let's see. Audio bit rate is lower than recommended. Open widget. Why is it lower than recommended? Why is my audio bit? That's probably why. That would be why. Hmm. Hello, hello. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's glad I was listening to this because it's a bit meh. Why is it like this? Excuse me. Uh, Looking for what's going on. At times it's fine, but other times it's not good. Is it better now though? It's a question. Hold on. I'm gonna keep talking for a second here. Um, how was everybody's day? There's a little bit of a background noise. I might have to turn the fans off. Give me a second. All right. I'm back. How's that? Does that sound better? It's a little bit better, I think. Not too much. Not too bad. It's better than it was. I'll have to figure that out. I don't know. Let's see. Times it's really good and times it's not good. It's weird. Well, regardless, I'm going to need to. Okay. I think it's all right now. So, well, today, let me actually turn this off so I don't hear myself twice, 30 seconds apart. Today I'm going to be reading through the Bible. I'm going to be reading through Genesis. I'm not going to be able to read through all of it today, of course, but I'm going to read through as much as I can within a time frame that I set for myself. It may only be an hour of me actually reading because I don't know how. I've never really read this long out loud, so this is going to be a learning process for me as well. But this is something I've been wanting to do for a while now, is to have a VOD of me reading the Bible, and maybe I'll do some other reading some other day too. But for now, this is what it is. This is the NASB, or the New American Standard Bible. It is, from what I know, one of the most word-for-word translations to the Dead Sea Scroll and the other manuscripts that we have. One of the more literal translations, word for word. There's other things like the NIV, which is phrase for phrase, and then ESV is also word for word. So today we're just going through the 1995 NASB version. If you do not have one of those, totally read along with me. There are sources. I imagine you can find them. You could go buy yourself one to read along with me, or you could just listen. Okay. Right. So Genesis chapter 1, the creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning, one day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." God made the expanse and separated the waters which were below the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse, and it was so. God called the expanse heaven, and there was evening and there was morning, a second day. Then God said, Let the waters below heavens be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the gathering of waters he called seas, and God saw that it was good. Maybe I should move my camera. Sorry. I'm looking down when I read this, but it doesn't matter. Okay, verse 11. Then God said, let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees on the earth bearing fruit after their kind with a seed in them. And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed after their kind, and the trees bearing fruits with seeds in them, after their kind. And God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, a third day. Then God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens, to separate the day from the night, and let them be signs for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens, to give light on the earth. And it was so. God made two great lights, and greater light to govern the day, the lesser light to govern the night. He made the stars also. God placed them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to govern the day and the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. There was evening and then there was morning, a fourth day. Then God said, let the waters teem with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth, and in the heavens expanse of the heavens. God created the great sea monsters, and every living creature that moves, with which the water swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. There was evening and then there was morning, a fifth day. Then God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after their kind. And it was so. God made the beasts of the earth after their kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground after their kind. And God saw that it was good. And then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over fish in the sea, and over the birds in the sky, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. God created man in his own image, and in the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the surface of the face of all the earth, and every tree which has fruit yielding seed shall be good for you, and every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the sky, and to everything that moves on the earth which is life. I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Genesis chapter 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed, and all their host. But the seventh day God completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made earth and heaven. Now no shrub of the field was yet in the earth, no plant of the field had yet sprouted. For the Lord God had not sent rain upon the earth, and there was no man to cultivate the ground. But a mist used to rise from the earth, and to water the whole surface of the ground. Then the Lord God formed man of dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. The man became a living being. The Lord God planted a garden towards the east in Eden, and there he placed the man whom he had formed. Out of the ground the Lord God caused to grow every tree that is pleasing to the sight and good for food. Tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now a river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there divided and became 4 rivers. The name of the first is Pison. It flows around the whole land. It flows around the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold out of the land is good. The bdellium and the onyx stone are there. And then the second river, Gihon, flows around the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river, Tigris. It flows east of Syria, and the fourth river of the Euphrates. Then Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to cultivate it and keep it. The Lord God commanded the man, saying, "From any tree of the garden you may freely eat, but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat from it, you will surely die." Then the Lord God said, "It is not good for a man to be alone. I will make you a helper suitable for him." Out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the sky, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called the living creature, that was its name. The man gave names to all the cattle, all the birds of the sky, and every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper suitable for him. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. He slept. Then he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh at the place. The Lord God fashioned to a woman the rib which he had taken from the man, and brought her to the man. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she is taken out of man. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed." Chapter 3. The Fall of Man. Now the serpent was more crafty than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, "Indeed, has God said, you shall not eat from the tree of the garden, of any tree of the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "From the fruit of the trees of the garden we may eat, but from the fruit of the tree which is in the middle of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat from it or touch it, or you will die." The serpent said to the woman, "You surely will not die, for God knows that in the day you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eye, and that the tree was desirable to make one wise, she took from the fruit and ate. And she gave also to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves loin coverings. They heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. Then the Lord God called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" He said, "I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself." And he said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat?" The man said, "The woman who you gave to me to be with me, she gave me from the tree, and I ate." And the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" And the woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." The Lord God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, cursed are you more than all cattle, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you will go, and the dust you will eat all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise you on the head, and you shall bruise him on the heel." To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. In pain you will bring forth children. Yet your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Then to Adam he said, "Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat from. Cursed is the ground because of you, and toil you will eat of it all the days of your life. Both thorns and thistles will grow for you. And you will eat the plants of the field, but by the sweat of your face, you will eat bread till you return to the ground, because from it you were taken. For you are dust, and dust you shall return." Now the man called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all the living. Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife, and clothed them. Then Lord God said, "Behold, the man has become like one of us, knowing the good and evil. And now he might stretch out his hand, and take also from the tree of life, and eat, and live forever." Therefore the Lord God sent him out from the Garden of Eden, to cultivate the ground for which he had taken. So he drove the man out, and at the east of the Garden of Eden he stationed a cherubim, and the flaming sword, which turned every direction to guard the way of the tree of life. Let's go forward a little bit here. Genesis chapter 4. Now the man had relations with his wife, Eve. She conceived and gave birth to Cain. And she said, "I've gotten a man-child with the help of the Lord." Again she gave birth to his brother, Abel. And Abel was a keeper of flocks, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So it came about in the course of time that Cain brought an offering to the Lord of the fruit of the ground. Abel, on his part, brought of the firstlings of his flock, and their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering. But for Cain and for his offerings he had no regard. So Cain became very angry, and his countenance fell. And Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will not your countenance be lifted up? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door, and its desire is for you, but you must master it." Cain told Abel his brother, and it came about when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, Where is "Where is Abel, your brother?" And he said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" He said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. Now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand." When you cultivate the ground, it will no longer yield its strength to you. You will be a vagrant and a wanderer on the earth. Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is too great to bear. Behold, you have driven me this day from Behold, you have driven me this day from the face of the ground, and from your face I will be hidden. I will be a vagrant and a wanderer to the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me." So the Lord said to him, "Therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance will be taken on him sevenfold." And the Lord appointed a sign for Cain, so that no one finding him would slay him. Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Cain had relations with his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to Enoch. And he built a city, and the name of the city was Enoch. The name of the city Enoch after the name of his son. Now to Enoch was born Irad, and Irad became the father of Mehuel. And Mehuel became the father of Methuselah. No, Methuel. And Methuel became the father of Lamech. Lamech took himself 2 wives, and the name of one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. Ada gave birth to Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in the tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jabal. He was the father of all those who play the lyre and the pipe. As for Zillah, she gave birth to Tubal-Cain, the forger of all implements of bronze and iron, and the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. Lamech said to his wife, Adah and Zillah, "Listen to my voice. You wives of Lamech, give heed to my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me, and a boy for striking me. If Cain is avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 77-fold." Adam had his relations with his wife again, and she gave birth to a son, and named him Seth. For she said, "God has appointed me another offspring in place of Abel, for Cain killed him." Through Seth, to him also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. Then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. They're getting a little into the names of things, and they're a little bit difficult because I do not speak the language, sadly. I know some of the names a little bit, and I do apologize if you hear me take a second to take a drink here. I need to keep the voice lubricated. I have some water. It is very nice to the throat. Yeah, through more than I thought I would get through this far. So we're going to go ahead and continue. Chapter 5. Descendants of Adam. This is the book of the generations of Adam, in the day when God created man. He made him in likeness of God. He created them male and female, and he blessed them and named them man in the day when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he became the father of a son in his own likeness, according to his image, and named him Seth. Then the days of Adam after he became a father of Seth were 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Seth lived 105 years and became father of Enosh. Then Seth lived 807 years after he became the father of Enosh. And he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. Enosh lived 90 years and became the father of Kenan. Then Enosh lived 815 years after he became the father of Kenan, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. Kenan lived 70 years and became father of Mahalalel. Then Kenan lived 840 years after he became the father of Mahalalel. He had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Kenan were 910 years, and he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years and became the father of Jared. Then Mahalalel lived 830 years and became the father of Jared. After he became the father of Jared, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. Jared lived 162 years and became the father of Enoch. Then Jared lived 800 years after he became the father of Enoch, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Enoch lived 65 years and became the father of Methuselah. Then Enoch walked with God 300 years after he became the father of Methuselah, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Methuselah lived 187 years and became the father of Lamech. Then Methuselah lived 782 years after he became the father of Lamech, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Lamech lived 182 years and became the father of a son. Now he called his name Noah, saying, "This one will give us rest from our work, and from the toil of our hands arise from the ground, which the Lord has cursed." Then Lamech lived 595 years after he became the father of Noah, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. Noah was 500 years old, and Noah became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. A lot of people in that one. The whole chapter is just descendants of Adam. Chapter 6. The corruption of mankind. Now it came about, when men began to multiply on the face of the land, and the daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, whomever they chose. And the Lord said, "My spirit shall not strive with man forever, because he also is flesh. Nevertheless, his days shall be 120 years." The Nephilim were on the earth in those days. Afterwards, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, those were mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of the man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. The Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieving in his heart. The Lord said, I will blot out man who I have created from the face of the land, from man to animals to creeping things, and to birds in the sky, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. These are the records of the generation of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his time. Noah walked with God. Noah became the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in the sight of God, and the earth was filled with violence. God looked on the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all the flesh had corrupted their way upon the earth. Then God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. Behold, I am about to destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. You shall make the ark with rooms, and shall cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you shall make it. The length of the ark 300 cubits, its breadth 50 cubits, and the height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and finish it to the cubit from the top, and set the door of the ark in the side of it. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. Behold, I am bringing the flood. Behold, I am bringing the flood of water upon the earth, to destroy all flesh in which is the breath of life, from under the heaven. Everything that is on earth shall perish, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall enter the ark, you and your son and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every kind into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, and the animals after their kind, of every creeping thing of the ground after its kind, 2 of every kind will come to you, and you will keep them alive. As for you, take yourself some of the food which is edible, and gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and your them. Thus Noah did according to all that God had commanded him, so he did. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. Okay. Chapter 7, the flood. Then the Lord said to Noah, enter the ark, you and all your household, for you alone I have seen to be righteous before me in its time. You shall take with you every clean animal by 7s, a male and his female, and of the animals that are not clean, 2, a male and his female. As of the birds of the sky by 7s, male, female, to keep offspring alive on the face of the earth. For after 7 more days I will send rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and I will blot out from the face of the land every living thing that I have made. Noah did according to all that the Lord had commanded him. Now Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the water came upon the earth. Then Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him entered the ark because of the water of the flood. Of clean animals and animals that are not clean, and birds and everything that creeps on the ground, there went into the ark of Noah by 2s, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. It came about after 7 days that the water of the flood came upon the earth, and 600 years of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month. On the same day all the fountains of the great deep burst open, and the floodgates of the sky were opened. The rain fell upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, and the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife and the 3 wives of his son with him entered the ark. They and every beast after its kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, all sorts of birds. So they went into the ark of Noah, and by the 2 of all flesh, in which was the breath of life. Those that entered, male and female, all flesh, entered as God had commanded them, and the Lord closed it behind them. Then the flood came upon the earth for 40 days, and the water increased and lifted up the ark, so that it rose above the earth. The water prevailed and increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. The water prevailed more and more upon the earth, so that all the high mountains everywhere under the heavens were covered. The water prevailed 15 cubits higher, and the mountains were covered. All flesh that moved on the earth perished, birds and cattle, beasts, and every swarming thing that swarms upon the earth, and all mankind. Of all that was on the dry land, all whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life died. Thus he blotted out every living thing that was upon the face of the land, from man to animals to creeping things and to birds of the sky, and they were blotted out for the earth. And only Noah was left, together with those that were with him on the ark. The water prevailed upon the earth 150 days. Well, already done 7 chapters. A little bit of technical difficulty in the beginning. I thank everybody who's here right now. Those who are. I'm not checking chat nearly as much as I probably should. But I see that I don't really care all that much about the numbers of who's watching at the moment. So, yeah. Let's continue. Chapter 8, the flood subsides. But God remembered Noah and all the beasts and all the cattle that were with him on the ark. And God caused a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. As the fountains of the deep and the floodgates of the sky were closed, the rain from the sky was restrained. And after the water receded steadily from the earth, and at the end of 150 days the water decreased. In the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, the ark rested upon the mountains of Arad. The water decreased steadily until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains became visible. Then it came about at the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent out a raven, and it flew here and there until the water was dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove from him to see if the water was abate from the face of the land. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of its foot. So she returned to him into the ark. For the water was on the surface of all the earth. Then he put out his hand and took her, and brought her back into the ark to himself. So she waited yet another 7 days. And again he sent out the dove from the ark. The dove came to him towards the evening, and behold, in her beak was a freshly picked olive leaf. So Noah knew that the water was abated from the earth. Then he waited yet another 7 days, and sent out the dove, but she did not return to him again. Now it came about in the 601st year, in the 1st month, on the 1st of the month, the water was dried up from the earth. Then Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the surface of the ground was dried up. In the 2nd month, of the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, "Go out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that was with you, birds and animals, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, that they may breed abundantly on the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth." So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife, and his son's wife with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every bird, everything that moved on the earth, went out by their families from the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took every clean animal and every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled the soothing aroma, and the Lord said to him, "I will never again curse the ground on account of man. For the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and I will never again destroy every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease." All right, everyone. I would like everyone to stand up and stretch. Get a little stretch in. Oh, scratch your face. Oh, it's good for you to stretch every so often. Maybe get you a drink. We will resume shortly. I am human, so I cannot sit here for too long without needing to move around a little bit. Get some good stretches in. Get a snack. Read along. Okay. Almost done with 7 pages out of let's see. How many pages is in this Bible? I'm using a physical Bible. I want to know. 1157. So I'm 1150 pages away from the end of the book. All right. Everybody run to their fridge and get something to drink, something to snack on. We'll give it a second, a little bit longer. I'm going to stretch a little bit longer while people do that. Oh. If you're not getting a snack and you probably need to stand up and get a stretch anyways, it's good for you. Keeps you limber. Keeps your muscles working properly. Sorry, I hit my mic pop filter. Please do recommend suggestions of what I can improve on with my reading. Yeah. At 7:50, we'll continue reading. Don't know how much longer I'll be reading for. I want to do this in parts. I'm not going to finish Genesis today, of course. And who knows how long this will actually take, but I would like to read through the whole Bible and have it documented on YouTube at least. But there are some things I'll have to do in order to make sure that I can read the rest of it as well. Who knows, maybe this is a every so often thing, but I would like to do it once or twice a month for the foreseeable future, and maybe I can read through the whole Bible with y'all. And I hope y'all are reading along. If not, that is fine. Listening also, you will remember things from listening too. This is purely educational for now. I do want this to be educational. Not everybody actually has seen the Bible and or read through it all the way, so even listening through it would count. And if I am the outlet for you to do that, that's amazing. It is amazing. So maybe I can change the format of what I'm streaming visually as well. I didn't know exactly what to do for that. So if any suggestions, please comment. I will look through them all. I do have comments kind of strict, just so people that are looking through comments don't see anything, wild that really shouldn't be in the comments. I'll review them, and then if they're off topic, I can let people see them. It's the same with the chat feature. So hope everybody's enjoying, and let's proceed. I would like to get through, I want to say through chapter 15 tonight. I think we can do that. I think that's possible. I mean, we're already on chapter 9, so halfway there, maybe a little bit less than halfway there. I don't know. Maybe more than halfway there. I don't really. It's what? 5 more pages? Okay, let's continue. Everybody should be back from now. If they're not, I'm sorry. But I gotta continue. Chapter 9, the covenant of the rainbow. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth. The fear of you and the terror of you will be on every beast of the earth, and on every bird of the sky, with everything that creeps on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. Into your hand they are given. Every moving thing that is alive shall be food for you. I give it all to you, and as I gave the green plant. Only you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood. Surely I will require your lifeblood. From every beast I will require it, and from every man's brother I will require the life of man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed. For in the image of God he made man. As for you, be fruitful and multiply. Populate the earth abundantly, and multiply in it. And then God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, now behold, I myself do establish my covenant with you, and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the cattle, and every beast of the earth with you. Of all that comes out of the ark, even every beast of the earth, I establish my covenant with you, and all flesh shall never again be cut off by the water of the flood. Never shall there again be a flood to destroy the earth. God said, this is a sign of the covenant which I am making between me and you, every living creature that is with you, for all the successful generations. I set my bow in the clouds, and it shall be a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. It shall come about when I bring a cloud over the earth, and that the bow will be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature on all of flesh. Never again shall the water become a flood. I'm sorry, that is family sneezing. And never again shall the water become a flood to destroy the earth. To destroy all flesh. When the bow is in the cloud, then I will look upon it, to remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. And God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant which I established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. Now the sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah. And from these the whole earth was populated. When Noah began farming and planting a vineyard, he drank of the wine and became drunk, and uncovered himself in his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of the father, and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and walked backwards and covered his nakedness of their father. And their faces were turned away, so that they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his wine, he knew that what his youngest son had done to him. He said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants. He shall be to his brothers. He also said, blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. And may God enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. Noah lived 350 years after the flood. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. All right. Very interesting chapter. Chapter 10. Descendants of Noah. Now these are the records of the generations of Shem and Japheth, sons of Noah, and the sons of Noah, and the sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, and Rephath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dedanim. From these, the coastlands of the nations were separated into their lands, every one according to his language, according to their families and their nations. The sons of Ham were Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, and Havilah, and Sebta, and Ramah, and Sabta. And the sons of Ramah were Sheba and Dedan. Now Cush became the father of Nimrod. He became a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter for the Lord. Therefore, it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, and the land of Shinar. From that land he went forth into Assyria, and built Nineveh, and Rehoboth Ir, and Kala. And Rensin became Nineveh, and Kala, that is the great city. Mizraim became the father of Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Naphthalim, and Parthusim, and Calsim, from which came the Philistines, and Kaphtorim. Canaan became the father of Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivirite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Ardite, and the Arvadite, and Zimrite, and the Hamathite, Hamathi, and afterwards the families of Canaanite were spread across. The territory of the Canaanites extended from Sidon as you go towards Gerar, as far as Gaza. As you go towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their languages, by their lands, and by their nations. Also to Shem, the father of all children of Eber, and the oldest brother of Japheth, children were born. The sons of Shem were Elam and Asher, and Arpachshad, and Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, and Gareth, and Mash. Arpachshad became the father of Shelah, and Shelah became the father of Aber. 2 sons were born to Aber. The name of one was Peleg. For his days the earth were divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan became the father of Almadad, and Sheleph, and Hazarmarath, and Jerah, and Hodarim, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan. Now their settlements extended from Misha as you go towards Shephar in the hill country of the east. These were the sons of Shem, according to their families, according to their languages, by their lands, according to their nations. These are the families of the son of Noah, according to their genealogy, by their nation. And out of these, the nations were separated on the earth after the flood. That was a mouthful, to say the least. Some of these names are definitely different from anything you would actually say in the English language. So I apologize for any mispronunciations. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to probably keep repeating that because I do not speak the native language of this, and some of the stuff is I will get some right, and I'll probably get most of it wrong. So again, sorry to anybody that I'm probably going to get comments on that. Your pronunciation of this word is wrong. Please do tell me if it's wrong. I would like to actually know how it's pronounced, because that's really cool. Maybe even give me those like Google word where it's like, you know, word and say like it has in it and it's like AH or something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know, give me the correct way of saying it. I will look for those. That would be really cool to know. So anybody who wants to, go for it. I'm down. All right. Chapter 11. Universal language. Babel, confusion. Now the whole earth used the same language and the same words. It came about as they journeyed east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar and sheltered there. They said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly." And they used brick from stone, and they used tar for mortar. They said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, and a tower whose top will reach into the heavens. And let us make for ourselves a name, otherwise we will be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." The Lord came down to see the city and the tower which his son of man had built. And the Lord said, "Behold, they are one people, and they have all the same language. And this is what they began to do. And now nothing which they purposed to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they will not understand one another's speech." So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of the whole earth, and they stopped building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of the whole earth. Descendants of Shem. These are the records of the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and became the father of Arpachshad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived 500 years after he became the father of Arpachshad, and he had other sons and daughters. Arpachshad lived 35 years and became the father of Shelah. And Arpachshad lived 403 years after he became the father of Shelah, and he had other sons and daughters. Shelah lived 30 years and became the father of Eber. And Shelah lived 403 years after becoming the father of Eber, and he had other sons and daughters. Eber lived 34 years and became the father of Peleg. And Eber lived 430 years after he became the father of Peleg, and he had other sons and daughters. Peleg lived 30 years and became the father of Reu. And Peleg lived 209 years after becoming the father of Reu, and he had other sons and daughters. Reu lived 32 years and became the father of Serug. Reu lived 207 years after he became the father of Serug, and he had other sons and daughters. Serug lived 30 years and became the father of Nahor. And Serug lived 200 years after he became the father of Nahor, and he had other sons and daughters. Nahor lived 29 years and became the father of Terah. And Nahor lived 119 years after he became the father of Terah, and had other sons and daughters. Terah lived 70 years and became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Aram. Now, these are the records of the generations of Terah. Terah became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran became the father of Lot. Haran died in the presence of his father Terah in the land of his birth, in Ur of the Chaldeans. Abram and Nahor took wives for themselves, and the name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah. The daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and Iscah. Sarai was barren, she had no child. Terah took Abram, his son, and Lot, son of Haran, his grandson, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went out together from Ur of the Chaldeans in order to enter the lands of Canaan, and they went as far as Haran and settled there. The days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. A lot of lots more difficult words. Again, please tell me the correct way to say these if I do not say them right. Genesis chapter 12. Abram journeys to Egypt. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go forth from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land which I will show you, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and so you shall be a blessing. And so you shall be a blessing, and I will bless those who bless you, and the ones who curse you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed." So Abram went forth as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. Now Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his nephew, and all their possessions which they had accumulated, and the persons which they had acquired in Haran. And they set out for the lands of Canaan. Thus they came to the land of Canaan. Abram passed through the land as far as the side of Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. Now the Canaanite was then in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your descendants I will give this land." So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. Then he proceeded from there to the mountains on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And there he built an altar to the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. Abram journeyed on, continued toward Negev. Now there was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land. It came about when he neared to Egypt that he said to his wife, Sarai his wife, "See now, I know you that you're a beautiful woman, and when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife,' and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Please say that you are my sister, so that it may go well with me because of you, and that I may live according to you, on account of you." It came about when Abram came into Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. Pharaoh's officials saw her and praised her to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into the Pharaoh's house. Therefore he treated Abram well for his sake, and gave him sheep and oxen and donkeys and male and female servants and female donkeys and camels. But the Lord struck Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. Then Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me this was your wife? Why did you say, 'She is my sister,' so that I took her for my wife? Now then, here's your wife, take her and go." Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they escorted him away with his wife and all that belonged to him. Feels like a shorter chapter. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just reading faster. I don't know. Abram and Lot, chapter 13. So Abram went up from Egypt to Negev, he and his wife and all of them belonged to him, and Lot with him. Now Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver and in gold. He went on his journey from there, the Negev, as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, because between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there formerly, and there Abram called the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, and the land could not sustain them while dwelling together, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to remain together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. Now the Canaanites and Perizzite were dwelling then in the land. So Abram said to Lot, Please let there be no strife between you and me, nor between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brothers. Is there not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If it's the left, then I will go right, or if to the right, then I will go to the left. Lot lifted his eyes and saw all the valley of the Jordan. That is, that it was well watered everywhere. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as you go to Zoar. So Lot chose for himself all the valley of Jordan, and Lot journeyed eastward. Thus they separated from each other. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, while Lot settled in the city of the valleys and moved his tents as far as Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were wicked, exceedingly and sinners against the Lord. And the Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from him, Now lift your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which you see, I will give you. I will give it to you and your descendants forever. I will make your descendants as the dust on the earth, so that if anyone can number the dust on the earth, then your descendants can also be numbered. Arise, walk about the land through its length and breadth, for I will give it to you. Then Abram moved his tent and came and dwelt by the oaks of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and there he built an altar to the Lord. Sorry, I gotta sit back for a second. Okay. Chapter 14. The War of the Kings. And it came about in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goim, that they made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Brisha, king of Gomorrah, Shimbar, king of Admah, and Shemimber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar. All these came as allies to the valley of Siddim, that is the Salt Sea. 12 years they had served Chedorlaomer, but the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him came and defeated the Rephaim in Esteroth Karnaim, and the Zuzim and Ham, and the Emim and Sheve Kirathim. Yeah. And the Horites and the Mount Seir, as far as El Paran, which is by the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to Emishpat, that is Kadesh, and conquered all the country of Amalekites, and also the Amorites, who lived in the Hazazon Tamar. And the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar, came out, and they are arrayed for battle against them in the valley of Siddim, against Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goim, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of tar pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled into them. But those who survived fell to the hill country. Then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food supply and departed. They also took Lot, Abram's nephew, and his possessions and departed, for he was living in Sodom. Then a fugitive came and told Abram, sorry, I hit my mic, told Abram the Hebrew, now he was living by the oaks of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, the brother of Aner. And these were allies with Abram. When Abram heard that his relative had been taken captive, he led his trained men born in his house, 318, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, he and his servants, and defeated them, and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is north of Damascus. He brought back all the goods, and also brought back his relative Lot with his possessions, and also the women and the people. God's promise to Abram. Then after his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Sheva, that is, the king's valley. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. Now was a priest of God Most High. Now he was a priest of God Most High. He blessed him, saying, Blessed be Abram of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. He gave a tenth of all. He gave him a tenth of all. The king of Sodom said to Abram, Give the people to me and take the goods for yourself. Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have sworn to the Lord God Most High, possessor of the heaven and earth, that I will not take a thread or a sandal thong, or anything that is yours, for fear you would say, I have made Abram rich. I will take nothing except the young men, what the young men have eaten, and the share of men who went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Amir. Let them take their share. Ooh. One more stand up and stretch. Still sore from my workout the other day. Okay. I think this will be the last chapter I read for today. It's longer than I was honestly expecting me to hold out for, but my voice, I can tell, is starting to go. So, let's finish off on chapter 15. Alright, chapter 15. Abram promised a son. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, Do not fear, Abram. I am a shield to you. Your reward shall be very great. Abram said to the Lord, O Lord God, what will you give me, since I am childless, and the heir of my house is Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, Since you have given me no offspring to me, one born in my house is my heir. Then behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, This man will not be your heir, but one who will come forth from your own body, he shall be your heir. And he took him outside and said, Now look towards the heavens and count the stars, if you're able to count them. And he said to him, So shall your descendants be. Then he believed the Lord, and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. And he said to him, I'm the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to possess it. He said, O Lord God, how may I know that I will possess it? So he said to him, bring me a 3-year-old heifer, and a 3-year-old female goat, and a 3-year-old ram, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Then he brought all these to him and cut them in two, and laid each half opposite the other. But he did not cut the bird. The birds of prey came down upon the carcasses, and Abram drove them away. Now when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, terror and great darkness fell upon him. God said to Abram, know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, for they will be enslaved and oppressed 400 years. But I will also judge the nation who they will serve, and afterwards they will come out with many possessions. As for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You will be buried at a good old age. Then in the 4th generation they will return here, for the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet complete. It came upon when the sun had set, it was very dark, and behold, there appeared a smoking oven and a flaming torch, which passed between these pieces. On the day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, On that day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, To your descendants I have given this land, from the river of Egypt as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenite and Kenzite, and the Kadmite, and the Hittite and the Perizzite, and the Rephaim, and the Amorite and the Canaanite, and the Girishite, and the Jebusite. Whew. All right. I think I can tell my voice has basically decided that that's it. I can tell it's a little bit, even though I've been, trying to keep water in my system, on my throat, I can tell that it's about time to call it. So, thank you everybody who have come. Those who will watch the VOD, I appreciate that as well. Please leave a comment, a like. Let me know how I did. I would love feedback. Please don't write hateful stuff when there's no reason to do so. I'm literally just reading. It's very interesting stuff to read. I would appreciate feedback though, on what I could improve on, so that the more I read, the better the production, quote unquote, production quality will be. I do plan on doing this more, though there are some copyright stuff that I'll probably have to deal with. Which is not all that bad. I'll have to just get copyright permissions. But yeah. I will be doing something tomorrow. I haven't decided yet, but I hope to see y'all around again. I hope y'all enjoyed. Oh, if you would like to be, if you like my if you like my content, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like bell, the notification bell. Oops, sorry, I'll say. Go ahead and hit the notification bell. You'll get notifications when I set up a stream and or going live, so you won't miss anything. I'm a bit in a lower energy mood to read I could be a lot louder, but I'm a little bit closer to my mic, and I don't want to blow my mic out. So, again, appreciate everybody coming out. Love y'all, and bye.